What up, party people? How's everybody doing? It is October 14th, 2021, and welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk Live. What's up, Quicker? How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going? I like your new opening. It's kind
You
of
like
cool
that?
with all the different time zones. Yeah, it's good that you're mixing it up.
Yeah. I
I like
think
that. It's good.
I kind
That's
of like
awesome.
this. I think this is going to be the permanent one.
Mm.
I got the little retro vibe still going, and then all the
Yeah.
clocks, and just trying to keep it fun and fresh. But hey, man, I wanted to welcome you to the channel this evening. And I've been getting to know you kind of backstage a lot lately, and seeming that we have a lot of things in common. We have some pretty deep conversations. And one thing I don't know about you, I've seen a lot of it, but I don't think I've seen collectively your whole collection. So I wanted
I
to
don't think I've seen my whole collection either. It's just so wild, man. What I
well,
currently have in the box, we'll take a look at it.
yeah, but that's like what interests me about it. You have such a wide variety of watches. It doesn't really seem like you stick to a certain style, and I think that's what kind of drew me in to say, hey, you know what,
Mm.
I want to get Quicker on my channel and do a little bit of
Okay.
a show and tell. So
Mhm.
if you could, man,
Mhm.
let me ask you this first. When
Mhm.
did you start getting into watch collecting, ugh,
Mhm.
and what got you started with watch collecting?
Well, I've kind of always like loved watches. I was one of those geeks in elementary school that had a calculator watch. I think that throughout the years, I don't know if there was a specific point in time where I started collecting per se, but I did start amassing some after I don't know. Maybe I turned 20. I think around 20, I got that Victorinox watch, which I don't know if you've seen it. It's an older, Swiss Army watch. It's about 38 at the time. It was man size. 38 is still pretty man size. Anything below 38 is kind of I know I'm gonna get like nailed to the wall for that one, but it really because and just to get this out there, typically guys are a little bit bigger,
Mhm.
females are a little bit smaller. Just typically, size has to do
Right.
with what we call. I could care less. I've seen Charlize Theron rocking a Sea Dweller. It looks
Yeah.
nice on her. She wears it loose. She's 5'10", so she's
Right.
taller than me. I'm good with that. Anyway, back to the 38 Swiss Army watch. It was a white dialed one. In fact, I can go get it real quick. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
unprepared,
So
but
while Quicker's grabbing that, that's okay. While Quicker's grabbing that, I'm gonna pull up some of the chats. SLC Watch Collector, what's up, man? How are you? He's so stoked to see the collection. And we got Omar in the chat as well. Omar says Quicker has a sneaky good taste. We have the Pale Horse in the house. Marty's in the house as well. And Marty says that he has upvote and subscribe watch community. I appreciate that, Marty. You're such a great guy. We have Watch Cardinal in the house, man. How are you? He's got the upvote going on. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great time over in Ireland, and we cannot wait to hear how the travel has been. So,
yeah. How's it
yeah,
going,
man.
Marco? So this is the watch I'm talking about. I've had this for a while now. I recently changed the battery on it. Obviously, it's quartz. It's pretty thin. Wears well. I used to wear this, from
Mhm.
delivering pizzas to, in a suit. I just would wear it everywhere. And if you guys are a fan of the show X Files, I think at some point one of the main characters wears this
Oh,
watch.
really? I
And
didn't know
so,
that.
yeah, I
Really?
think it's one of Mulder's watches. But anyway, so
Ah, cool.
a lot of I think influence we get as we see celebrities wearing watches. Sometimes on the show, I just saw the Bond movie today. There was a lot of Omega, showing the watch and some of these.
Yeah.
So we see that, and that's kind of where I think I believe I was influenced, but also to a certain extent, my dad. My dad has a tank, a Cartier tank that he wore for years, which is the main influence for getting one of the watches that I'm going to show you in a little while. But
Sure.
let me pull it up.
Yeah. While
His
you're doing
his
that,
yeah.
real
Go ahead.
quick, I'm just say Watch Cardinal says, "Hey boys, hope all is well," and it is, man. We're looking forward to seeing you come back.
Yeah, for sure. Be good. So he's out there till like beginning of next week or something
Saturday,
like
I
that.
think it's
Saturday. Okay.
Saturday. He's actually
All
coming
right.
back. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Right on.
But he'll have a hell of a plane ride coming back. It was
Yeah.
14 or 15 hours. So.
Yeah, so this is my dad's Cartier tank. He's gonna gift it to my sister.
Nice.
And yeah, it's kind of small for but again, it's quartz. And I saw him wear this thing. You can see it's gotten tons of wear. I think he's replaced this band once before. So yeah.
Uh-oh, we lost we lost Quicker. He'll be back. Man, I'm gonna drop the I'm sure he has the link. I just set it up for me and him solo this evening, so I'm gonna wait till he comes back. Yep, here he comes.
I may have clicked the wrong button.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Yeah, other people have done that before, but yeah. So yeah, he wore that for a long time, and so I was like, you know what, that's kind of cool. And then so it made me think of kind of jumping into and exploring different types of watches. I was always into watches with a lot of different functions in it, and the chronograph for example, this Zenith that I'm wearing here, that's part of my collection now. It has a lot of things going on with it, so I've never not never. I typically have had in the past like at least one complication. Even this quartz one, it's got a date complication, right? Something else useful other than the time, but of late though, as I've never had problems with the 430 date window of late, because I've been exposed to so many like aesthetically pleasing and very simple designed watches. That 430 window is really starting to bug me, and I don't think it's just like a shared conscious like hive mind type thing. I think it's just more the more you are exposed to these other designs, because all these watches we're always constantly looking at, right? So I've grown to appreciate a more streamlined. Like that 430 window is starting to bug me, but I'd probably still settle, quote unquote, for one. But I think now more than ever, I look at where that's at, and if it doesn't have a date complication, all the better. This one doesn't. Yeah. So moving on to the first luxury watch, I would say.
That's what I was just going to ask you. I was going to say, when was your first real, I'll say,
yeah, I don't have a photo of it. I've been searching kind of high and low. I know I have a photo of it, but I used to wear my watches like inboard, on the inside. Yep. So I was carrying my kids like for the first Father's Day, where both of them were. I think we're at a Cracker Barrel in Kansas. But you couldn't see the watch, but you could see the band. So it was a Hamilton Crosswind chronograph. I don't know if I could probably, since I don't have a photo, I could just pull it up and show you what it looked like. But that's the first.
Yeah, I think I've seen them before. I'm more familiar with the field khaki because you just see them everywhere.
Right. Yeah, but it was this exact watch right here. I'll show you.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. It looks like Joma Shop still has it for about $1,000.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. So again, it's a little known movie watch, right? There's a lot of math stuff going on back here that you could use if you really know what was going on. But it's a 750 movement, but it's reliable, right? It was relatively thick. I think it was 16 millimeters. It's 44 millimeters case size. So this watch, I came to know it again through Hollyweird, right? I was watching I Am Legend. I was like, what's that watch that Will Smith's wearing there?
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so it was one of the watches that he wore. He wore two watches. I have the other one too. It's also a Swatch watch.
Yeah.
But it's kind of tucked away and not really. Yeah. So I've got graveyard of like fossils, and I mean, you name it. There's just a ridiculous, I don't say obsession, but like just a ridiculous amount of stuff that I've accumulated. That's the word I was looking for over the years. But I'm slowly but surely consolidating, and that's the reason why I am where I am right now with the 10 watches that are in the box that we'll take a look at.
So let me ask you a question. So over the years, before you started getting into higher horology, and maybe you still find yourself doing this, do you ever just still really maybe wander into a watch shop and maybe find something that you like that could be $100 to, would you buy something like that now, or were you more like that in the past?
I think it was more like that in the past. I mean, I'll still probably snag a case of a Casio G-Shock if
Sure.
it speaks to me,
Right.
right? Because I have a green Casio.
Yep.
You've got the black one.
Mhm.
So I just if it's something that's like intriguing and kind of neat, like I picked up that Tissot that has a Genta shaped.
Yep.
You'll see it in the box here in a second.
Cool.
But yeah, so anything that kind of like shots. It doesn't have to be a particular price, but obviously because of my means aren't somebody else's means, I have to kind of limit my purchases to certain
Sure.
price ranges. But
Yeah.
that's just because we all have different situations.
So when you went out of the Hamilton, what was the first, I would say, the next level up? Do you still have that watch?
So I sold that Hamilton, which is kind of I do regret it because I wish I still had it, just as because it was technically a Father's Day gift. But I got out of it because this other chronograph, Steinhardt Pilot Chrono, spoke to me. It's 44 millimeters. Kind of resembles the spoiler alert, but it kind of resembles one of the watches that I have in my box now. But it only had just a simple chrono. So it was more of a side grade than anything. I think I preferred the aesthetics of the Steinhardt because it was black DLC coated. It still had like silver or stainless steel pushers, but it was more black. And at the time, our uniforms were different. We had the ABUs. So for those who don't know, I'm in the Air Force, and it was geared. That camo pattern was geared towards urban warfare. So it was like gray and green and sage. Okay. Yeah, if you recall that color scheme, and the black just kind of went better with it, So I just was like wanting something that I could wear at work.
Awesome. So do you mind showing some of your pieces, talking about them, where you got them, how you acquired them, and kind of what what was the criteria for buying them? That'd be great.
Yeah. Do you have that picture that I sent you? Or
I do.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see.
Well, let's start with the one that's on my wrist right now. So this is a relatively recent one. So this is the Zenith Defy El Primero 21. It's got a skeletonized dial. It's on one side. It's skeletonized, right? So it's not like fully skeletonized, but you can see there's a balance wheel in the front for the timekeeping function on right here. But in the back, right here, you probably see it back there. Once you engage the chrono feature, you can see that balance wheel.
It's so sick.
You can see that one start and stop. If you can see it, yeah. So and that one's vibrating 10 times faster. So because it has to be able to measure up to a hundredth of a second.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's so sick.
So you can see it on the outside part of where the rehaut would be. It counts all the way to 100. As opposed to the timekeeping part where the indices are in the center. So yeah, it's really neat. The chronograph is powered by a completely different movement, and you have to wind it. Yeah. So there's two ways to wind it. You wind it clockwise to wind the chronograph function, and you wind it counterclockwise to get the balance wheel going for the timekeeping function. If it's dead, if the power reserve is completely gone on that. And there's for the chrono, you can see the meter there at the top.
Yes. Yep. That's awesome.
And right now it's fully charged.
Pale Horse says, so cool. He loves it.
Yeah, it's a really neat watch. I thought it was, it kind of like, I was like amazed by it. I was just the fact that, and I could get lost because there's like tiers of it, right? Like, it's no Alan Gonzona, but there's still, for the price point, I think it really does well. And two, it looks kind of Hublowish, but whatever.
No,
it's not. It is. It's a little. It's
a little bit.
Well, a little bit because Jean-Claude Biver, he helped design it. Essentially, he was kind of helping Zenith, get out of their slump or whatever. Sure. So they brought him in to do that. There's designers out there like him, I suppose. He might be one of the only ones. I don't know if Genta's already since passed, but they'll grab these like watchmaker legends and say, hey, can you help us revive our company? And I think that's what they did with
I'm sorry.
JCV
And
or
when did you pick that?
JCB.
How long have
I
you had?
picked this up. I've had this since, I think I want to say I picked it up in late July, early August. So I've only had it for a couple months or so. A
Did
lot
you
of
go?
the pieces.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, did you go into an AD to grab it, or?
No, I picked this up online. I
Okay.
looked, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up is because it was considerably cheaper. Yes, I'm assuming a lot of the risk because the warranty card is held by the
Oh, okay.
company I bought it off of.
Sure.
It's a gray market dealer.
Okay.
But if I have any issues with it within the next couple of years, I go to them, they go to Zenith, and it gets taken care of either way.
Sure.
So I have their guarantee, and they're I've checked through sources. They're reliable in that regard. They're dependable.
Yeah, for some people that might not know, if you're watching, if you go to a online or maybe a gray market dealer, what will happen a lot of the times is that the company that's selling the watch, they'll actually hold on to the warranty, and that's part of getting the lower price. But if you have any type of issues with warranty, you would send it back to the original company. They would send it out for service for you. So just a quick little information if you guys didn't know that, and that's something to consider if you are buying gray market or from maybe from an online dealer. So that's something that you probably would want to look into and look at the fine print. And if you're okay with that, I would say buy it. Most of the online retailers that are pretty reputable online, your major ones. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So anyways, so on to your collection. Did you want me to pull up the photo, or do you have some of your collection with you?
I don't. I have it. It's all in the safe, so I just didn't want to.
Sure.
Yeah, but if you have the photo, it's the same
Yep.
photo we looked at before. We could just kind of. So we've talked about the Zenith, which is down there on the. Yeah, but we can start with the JLC if you're interested in talking about that one. Yeah,
Sure.
so that's the JLC 1931 tribute mono face. And it's got kind of like an eggplantish in some lights, purple color, blue, and other lights. Like when there's more yellow light shining on it, it looks more purple. So you can kind of see that there. There's a little bit. It's on a Fagliano blue leather strap. So it's not designed by Casa Fagliano, or sorry, it's designed by Casa Fagliano, but it's not made by them. It's made by JLC.
Okay.
But so that's the strap that it comes in. It's got a butterfly deployant clasp on it. And I picked it up because I thought that as far as like, if you look at all my other watches, they're all sport watches.
Right.
And really secretly, that one's a sport watch as well. Because if you don't know, Reversos were, a sports watch initially. But because like I'd shown you my dad's Cartier tank, I really wanted to honor kind of his taste in my collection by having a rectangular watch, because seeing as is, he was like, yeah, I'm giving this one to your sister. And really that makes more sense because it's kind of small. I prefer a slightly larger rectangular case. I think his Tank Cartier is like 28 or barely 30 or something. It's not very big at all.
Now I know. Go ahead. I was going to say. I know on this particular piece, when you unboxed it, you talked about it, and you were actually looking to do maybe some special engraving. Are you still looking into doing that, or have you found someone?
No, I haven't found anybody, but I put feelers out, and I'm not going to put them on blast, but somebody's working on potentially getting,
cool.
Somebody, for that, because somebody knows somebody is what. I guess the situation is, but yeah. So I kind of do like I kind of want to get something Air Force related for it because it is blue, and our colors are blue. Right. So it's just so speaking of blue, it's a good transition to get on to the next one.
The Tissot right here.
The Tissot with so it's an automatic, right? Like they came out with the quartz version earlier this year, and I told myself if they ever come out with an automatic, I'm probably gonna just pick it up. And it's a little bit more expensive than the quartz, but yeah. And turns out I've heard too that they're coming out with like a 36 millimeter version of it. Tissot themselves kind of told somebody to, start saving your money now is what they said to somebody on Instagram. So,
and where did you get this piece?
From Tissot.
Oh, okay.
And I think I mentioned it to you. I probably should have bought it at my AD because they carry Tissot. And I was like egg on my face when I went over there and I was like, yeah, I picked up a Tissot. And she like turned around. She's like, we carry Tissot. And I was like, oh, like a dagger in the heart. And I was like, ah. But you know what, though? I quickly bounced back because I was like, yeah, my mom's birthday is next month. I'm going to get her a watch. So I bought a Tissot from them.
Oh,
it was a lower price point, but still, my mom doesn't really like to wear expensive,
right.
jewelry. So she's just like, I'm fine with like, something two-toned and it's like rose gold plated, but it's going to take a lot for that to fade away. You know what I mean? It's like, it's going to last.
Yeah.
So she really likes it. She enjoys it. But so that centerpiece there, I picked up last year. People probably getting tired of hearing me say this, but I picked it up for $5,900 off of some guy, Chrono 24. I was deployed at the time and I was buying a bunch of watches. I think more so than I think, because I bought, not all of them were like that caliber, but I bought 8 watches because somebody was holding me to it. They're like, wow. How many watches did you buy on this deployment? And I was like, and they were counting, like as boxes came in, he was like counting. And I was like, thanks, man. Thanks for keeping count.
Scratching it on the wall there.
Yeah. The good news is 2 of them were discontinued Seikos that I turned around for a fast buck
cool.
this past month. And I made like a few $100 off. I like times 2'd my money on each one. So it's pretty good. Yeah, it worked out good. But this one was a special. It's our anniversary. It was our anniversary yesterday, but it was like a super early 15th year anniversary present.
Nice.
And also I got my wife a 26 millimeter one. I'll show you hers. So I got this for her first. I found it from on a. So nice. It's got the grape dial. She loves purple.
That's
so
really nice, man.
It's 26. It's 26 millimeters. So she was wearing it last night. That's why it's still wound. But so we were wearing our anniversary watches last night as we drank, anniversary wine. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but this one was. I think I picked this up for 3,600 euros. So it's under. It was under $4,000. It's just an OP, Yeah. And but she really likes it. It's a little dressier because it's smaller. I picked up that 39 millimeter one. We all know it's been discontinued. Hence the I got it for a steal because nowadays I think it's selling for like $10K most places. And you can tell too. I've used it. I mean, there's like little swirly marks on the bracelet and the clasp and. The guy told me when he sold it to me, he's like, hey, there's right around, 2 o'clock on the bezel. There's a little bit of wear, but it's a light polishing will bring that back.
Right back.
Yeah. So it's not super dinged up or anything.
So going to your Explorer 2.
So yeah, the Explorer 2, I had a GMT, Diet Pepsi, the Tudor Black Bay GMT.
Yep.
Earlier this year. I bought that in February. I sold it in July because I found that. And I've told Adrian Barker this when he was on Tim's stream. The reason why is because of his videos last year. And apparently he sold his 16570 Explorer, 2 polar dial to his friend in Scotland. I forget what his name is. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, yeah, that's my mate. And I was like, man, between you two, because I follow him on Instagram. Yeah. And if you see it, it is just it's a very photogenic watch. It looks spectacular in photos. And I didn't buy it just to make photos, but I wanted something that was functional. Yeah. And the GMT function, it's probably one of the, most useful complications you can have on a watch. Because, if I snagged one out of this box right now to travel, that would be it.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm just to say, Bubba Hotep says, hey guys, make sure to upvote. Omar's asking, what is your favorite watch? Hard to say. Don't answer that question yet. We'll get at the end. We'll ask quicker that. And Bubba Hotep says, nice, well-rounded collection. One more Rolex and it will be perfect. So
that is the goal, Bubba. That is the goal. So they're working on GMT Master 2 Batman for me on Oyster. So I I trust their word, because I double checked too the other night. I was like, hey, was the store manager, was she like teasing me, or is she for real? I was like, she's like, no, she wasn't. We're working on that for you. And I was like, thank you. This is just, I mean, because we got my wife allocated one. We're obviously helping out with their business and
Right.
buying other gifts through them. But yeah.
Did you acquire your Explorer 2 through your AD or?
Negative. No. So I found a brilliant man, really good gray market guy, well renowned in the Rolex forums. His name is Bruce Ginsburg. He's based out of Missouri, which
Sure.
is eventually, I think, where we're going to wind up, the Midwest.
Oh.
And back and forth with him, he gave me he's like, hey, you're in the military, I'm gonna cut you a break. So I think
Okay.
watches 24/7 is the number,
Okay.
is the name of the business.
Awesome.
So he's a really great guy. So those two watches, they're sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
That and the IWC I
Yeah.
bought through Bruce, and
Nice.
he's a stand-up dude, real honest guy, super generous when it comes to it's I'm not going to complain about anything. I got even when he was on vacation, I think he was trying to do his best as far as like staying in touch and maintaining communication, which is respectable.
So speaking of IWC, tell me about your IWC since we're going in that direction.
Yeah, we are going to that. So
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier that I had a Steinhardt. It was 44 millimeters as well, but the pushers were steel. It was not made of this super special door jam killing material because Wings, he likes to tease me about it. But yeah, quick story about this one. The first like day or so that I had it, I was on a stream, but I was like shooting off, right? So I hit the stop cam, I shot off to run to the bathroom.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, I brought my hand up kind of like at the last second before I made a turn to the
Sure.
toilet bowl, and I smacked into with the top lug into the door jamb, and the ding is still in the door jamb. It chipped paint off, and it was like hanging. I wish I'd made a photo, but I was like too excited to try and get the paint off of the watch, and I was like, man, it did absolutely nothing to the watch. It's invincible. Probably not, but I'm not gonna go banging it around.
Right.
But it's pretty. It's made of ceratanium, so it's a mix of ceramic and titanium. So it's got all the scratch proofness of ceramic and all the indestructibility, quote unquote, or toughness of titanium. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, if you guys haven't gone over to Quickerdraws Instagram account, you can see this watch on there. It photographs beautifully. It's an amazing watch, and you can look up on his screen name if you haven't, and you can just go over to his IG and please subscribe and support him and follow him. So moving on to the Panerai, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I got it on the eye-catching Kevin O'Leary band. So I found that red band. It came with a black band, but I took it off of the black band, put it on a red band just to kind of keep it fun, I found it on Etsy. It's not a real Panerai band, but I mean, it's pretty decent quality rubber, and I like it. It's kind of playful. But no, I back in the day, could probably find another photo here for you. But I had a few homage watches, right? Kind of like that IWC, which does have a retropont movement on it. I forgot to cover that. It means catch up in French. So essentially it's a double chrono or a split seconds. But let me look up this one photo here real quick of this homage that I bought back in the day, because essentially it is a Panerai GMT-ish kind of homage.
Okay.
Let me find it real quick.
Hey, Dan, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel this evening. Thank you.
Here we go. I'll share it real quick. So this was at Disneyland Paris. And there you can see that like kind of a eBay special Panerai. It's a Parnis. I'm sure you guys are aware of Parnis. Parnis is it's a Chinese brand. They put Chinese movements in it. It's probably some kind of an ETA or no, not what's not Solita.
Miyota.
Yeah,
Is it Miyota?
it could be
Yeah.
it could be a Solita or Miyota. Yeah, it
Miyota.
kept a separate a different time zone, but obviously not a true GMT function. But at the time, I was just like, I'd
Yeah.
seen a couple of Panerais. It's got a particular shape. It's a very masculine looking watch. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna pick one up. It's a fun watch. It costs like $110. Why not, right? So yeah, I ended up shopping around for this bad boy. Yeah, no, definitely no need to add more. But yeah, I want to keep it to the 10, right? So if when I do get the call for the GMT Master 2, just a quick aside,
Sure.
one of these will likely get punted out of the box and into some watch roll or something. I don't know if I'm ready to
I would
part
say the
with any of
Seiko.
this. Go ahead.
I would say the
Yeah.
Seiko probably would go.
Well, maybe the Tissot, that Seiko
Okay.
is, just because Seikos are one of those fun kind of
Of course. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I can go back and forth on that one though. Just to keep things interesting, I'd probably move the other blue dial watch out, just because I've already got a blue dial watch in there. But yeah, it's tough to say. They could take turns.
Your Panerai, where did you acquire that from?
So I checked with Stefano, and he said the dude was legit. Actually, no, sorry, no. He said that the guy, he'd never heard of the guy, right? So I kind of took a chance with this guy, but he was really, he was willing to kind of wheel and deal, and he I think he's also in Brooklyn, somewhere in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, but he sold it to me for a really good price. I think I out the door at like 42 total. I PayPal'd him.
Nice.
It was easy.
That's a good
super
price.
easy transaction. Yeah. I wasn't looking for anything expensive. I didn't need a GMT function or anything like that. I just wanted a wind and wear, and that's what it is. It's not an automatic. It's just a mechanical.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So your Seiko.
That one was kind of an impulse
Is that
buy.
the turtle, or what do they call it, the super turtle or turtle?
It's not the King Turtle. So
King
no,
Turtle.
it's not. So it's a Willard reissue.
Okay.
It's not 44 because they come in different sizes. It's not 45.
Right.
The King Turtle's 45, I think. I think Kelly has a 44, if
Yeah.
I'm recalling correctly. That one is 42 and a half or close to 43. So it's a little bit, it's a shade smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it because, it wears nicely. I mean, any of them really they're not very tall. So all of them really work out great. I've had a turtle in the past. It was like a blue, like Save the Ocean one or something, or some Dark Knight looking one. I don't know. There's so many different ones, but I had one in the past, and the bracelet wasn't doing it for me. And I'd heard through Nico, not Leonard, but Nico, the guy who does. Have you ever watched Dubai Expat?
I have not.
So check out his channel, Dubai Expat 87.
Sure.
He lives in Dubai, but he's a German guy. So he has this in his collection. And I was like, yeah, let me look into that. And it's kind of pricey for a Seiko, honestly. I paid $925 for it.
Wow.
But we kind of I found it on Chrono. I might get busted for saying this, but you can find ways around Chrono and get deals. I'm just saying, there's ways.
Yeah.
If you want to DM me, I'll let you know how it works. But yeah, no, there are ways you can contact the individual outside of Chrono.
Yeah.
I understand that there's a certain amount of risk that comes with that, but if you guys can see eye to eye and you're comfortable with doing that, but there's been people that I've dealt with on Chrono that haven't been comfortable, and we've just gone. I was like, okay, fine, we'll just go through Chrono. But this guy was comfortable, so it worked out okay.
That's awesome.
I got a decent deal on it because I think it lists for close to 11.
Wow, that's awesome. So now we're going to move on to probably one of my favorite watches of all time. It's, in my opinion, it's a must-have in anybody's collection. So tell us about your Speedy. When did you get it? How did you acquire it?
So this is one of my
deployments.
Go ahead. It's the 3570.50. Okay. It's got the 1861 movement. I believe the serial numbers for both myself and the one I bought my brother was from 98. So they were made 20.
Wow.
Math in public. Sorry.
Okay.
Over 20 years ago. So 21 years ago, right? 21, 22, 23 years ago now. So it's an older watch, but it still keeps going. I bought it while I was deployed, and shortly after I bought that, I bought my brother one because he's owned Citizens. I've handed down Citizens to him before. He's had like G-Shocks, all kinds of, and chrono function is something that him and I have kind of, style wise and just functionality wise, him and I just job. He's into cars, right? Like he had an MR2. That's my little brother Jordan's now. Sadly, he did pass last October because he didn't take care of himself. No, and that's one of the reasons why I think this watch I will never get rid of, because it was even in the short months that we had the same exact watch, I still feel there's like a connection there. There's an attachment to it. But not only that, it's a moon watch. Yeah. Above all else, I think, also because, Spencer, he really felt like when I gave it to him, my mom said, he's like, man, this watch, it costs more than my car. I don't even feel like wearing it. And he rarely wore it outside the house, but he did, invest in getting a half link for it because it, but then he reported to me, he was like, hey, the fitment's great. But that was probably one of the last, well, maybe second to the last conversations I had with him. I remember having talking to him on the phone when I was at the Home Depot shopping for something. I don't know what it was, but we were going back and forth about, his watch and getting the right fitment for it. But he paid $30 for a half link. And so, but good news is my brother Jordan has it now, and he's going to have it, from here on out. I encourage him to wear it. But I picked both of them up on Crown and Caliber before they were acquired by Hodinkee, which I heard Hodinkee is now going to turn. I think they're turning that arm into like Hodinkee pre-owned or whatever.
They are doing pre-owned, yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, and it's funny because I know back, I think yesterday over the last couple of days, you and I were talking, and I said my Speedmaster, I will never, ever, ever get rid of this watch. This watch will always stay with me. I encourage people to have a Speedy in their collection. Such an amazing watch. We all know it's a strap monster, and every strap can just bring and breathe new life into this if you're not a bracelet guy. So it's such a fantastic watch. I love this thing. Let me ask you a question. Do you tend to wear this more on the bracelet, or do you ever take it off and put a strap on it?
Past couple of weeks, I've kind of mixed it up a little bit. Just in the past like few months, I've been kind of concentrating on other pieces, so I've been kind of lazy. Yeah, because I got into those other watches. But we all go through these moods where we go style wise, and then some watches go with some things better than others, that type of thing. So I tend to just wear the JLC, the Reverso to church, or maybe like in casual situations. I mean, you can wear a JLC with shorts. I mean, it's that kind of a dress watch. It's kind of a casual-ish dress watch. So, but yeah, but to answer your original question though, the Speedy, it just of late I had been just leaving it on the bracelet, and I've got a pretty decent bracelet for it. So the original 1450 bracelet that came with it, I left it alone for a while, and I had an 1171 from Omega. So I don't know if all this stuff's probably going over your head.
A little bit, yeah.
But those bracelets there's the one that comes stock with that particular model from that era, and then there's the jingle jangly one. So I picked up the jingle jangly one and had it on there with the 808 end links and whatnot. And it was good for a while. But after some time, I was like, you know what? I need to get something different. And I ended up just getting, so Uncle Seiko, the 1479 is what it originally came with. Uncle Seiko, which I don't know if you're familiar with them, they make bracelets for Seikos typically. They make a 1450, which is the hard to get solid end link kind of president style bracelet for the Speedmaster.
Okay.
And they started carrying it earlier this year, and I picked it up on a limited run. Now they have it in stock fully, so they've got tons in stock. So you want to check it out. It's the clasp is not the greatest. Like, it doesn't have new fandangled stuff on it. Your clasp might be better. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels nice. It like drapes over your wrist a lot better because the points of articulation are closer together
Right.
than the normal. Yeah.
I may talk to you more about that offline, and we'll
Sure.
explore those options. Real quick, let's talk about your. I know we talked about at the beginning of the show, but I have a lot more people that have jumped on. If you want to just run through your Zenith really quick again, I'd appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Essentially, it's a two movement type of situation going on. There's the timekeeping function that's in the front, and then there's in the back. There's another balance wheel that keeps track of the chrono function. When you push it, you'll see it go. Keeps up to 100th of a second. You see a lot of the same design cues and the stars everywhere, right? The rotor's a star. This clasp here is a star, which actually, melds, fits, and then there's another star there. So there's just stars
And
everywhere.
the build quality looks fucking amazing on that thing. It really does.
It's fantastic. I don't know. I'll give you a guess as to how much I bought it for, but I think originally it was listed for like 10, 11K or something like that. It was like, I think I got it for 76 on the rubber. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I never thought I'd own a Zenith either, but
And we'll finish up with your Breitling.
So the Breitling is another one of those deployment watches. I may have told you really quickly yesterday or the day before that I kind of lowballed the dude. It was another chrono listing, private seller. Obviously, it's not a super complex situation. It's another 7750 beater. It's pretty good though. I mean, for what it is, I can hear that it probably needs some oiling because I can hear it kind of clack, 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 clack.
Right.
But yeah, it's a So the guy's, I think he bought it in 2007. I want to say, so he's had it for a while, and I don't know if it's been serviced yet. So probably, yeah, Mike, it's awesome, man. I just have to be careful, like as I'm driving, because I'll look at my watch. I'm like, oh, it's green. It's green. You know what I mean? Because I get lost in the skeleton dial. But yeah, so that Breitling, that buddy I told you that was giving me a hard time downrange. He was our personnelist officer, and he was saying, "Yeah, man, he was like the only friend that I've made outside of this, streaming sphere of watches, talking watches,
right?
That I can kind of talk watches alongside because he too has been pining for a Speedmaster. I'm trying to get him a good deal on one. Stefano's working on it, but he had already when we first deployed. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got this." He's kind of like Wings. He's going through like private pilot licensure.
Yeah,
he's trying to get his license as a pilot. So he's like, "Hey, yeah, I got a Breitling Avenger." I was like, "What do you got there, sir?" He's like, "Breitling Avenger," but it's like super blingy. He had it on rubber or canvas or something else.
Right.
He's like, the bracelet that it came with is just, it blinds people because it's one of those shiny ones, right? Because his was stainless. So that one is titanium. That one is tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of those are not stainless steel at all. They're either titanium or a mix of titanium and ceramic. And that Avenger is another one of those. So he's like, "Man, mine's heavy as hell." And he's like, I kind of like yours a little bit better because it's like, it's a matte finish. And the reason why I got that is it caught my eye one time. I was watching Top Gear, and Richard Hammond had it. He was wearing it, and I was like, "Ooh, what kind of Breitling is that? Or what kind of watch is that?" Right? So I had to do my research and whatnot. He's worn Speedmasters and whatever else, but everybody knows who's into watches knows what a moon watch is, right? But that one, I was like, man, it's hard to find, and those indices really kind of spooked me because they're really not. There's no applied lume on it at all, nor are they black. They're not black. They're like this shiny kind of, yeah, they're shiny. We'll just say. I'll pull up a picture of it, and perhaps you can kind of see what I'm talking about because it shines a certain way. Let me find it.
Sure.
Sorry for the pause.
That's okay.
Let's see. All right. So how's things going with you today? Just hanging out. You're off. You're off for the next couple of days, right?
I'm off for
Still?
the next couple of days. I go back on
Okay.
Sunday. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So while we're looking, I know earlier, a viewer asked, "What is your favorite watch in your collection?"
Yeah, Omar. Yeah, man. I don't know. I can't really. It's like saying, like pick your favorite child or whatever. The thing that means, I think, the most to me, obviously, is the Speedmaster because of the human connection there. But each one of these kind of signifies a little bit of something. Maybe the least thing that I'm connected to, perhaps, is probably the Tissot. Probably.
Okay.
But everything here, I think, because I've had some version of the turtle. I've wanted a Panerai in my collection for so long. The JLC is just like it's my, I guess, version of my dad's watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
The double chrono, the IWC is just the thing I'd been kind of looking for. So, quick story back on that a little bit
Sure.
is I saw Born Legacy back in 2000. If you're noticing a pattern here, a lot of these are like movie related and or TV shows.
TV.
But
Yeah.
so I mean, you grow up watching this stuff. I wasn't like super into like. I guess I was more about the watch being worn by people getting things done. You know what I mean? Like that's how I kind of
Yeah.
felt like it's like this is if this person's doing this, I'm not gonna attain this superpower if I wear it. But
Right.
it's like, dude, if I'm out doing something,
I
I
can
know
get
that this
something
watch
done.
is
Right.
I can get something done,
Right.
and I
Right.
know this watch is gonna be able to take me through it. It's not gonna like let me down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
building something quality like that. But yeah, the IWC was from Born Legacy. It was a kind of a Jason Bourne
Mm-hmm.
spin-off type
Yeah.
thing where it was a 46 millimeter version though. And I always told myself, I was like, if IWC ever makes a 44 millimeter version of the double chrono, I'd be tempted to get it. And at the time I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And so I put out feelers and turns out Bruce, again, he had one and I was like, wow, this is great. And, I was able to, I think it was with him on consignment. So he had to like ask the gentleman who was selling it, and I believe the guy was, in the medical field and he was busy a lot of times. So there was a lot of, waiting for an answer
Sure.
back from.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was worth the wait because I was able to get it for way less than I'd have to pay retail for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the retail that watch goes for like 14.8 or something crazy like that. I don't know. It's a stupid amount, but because I was able to get it for the price I got it for, I was like, dude, there's no way I could pay. Even the guy at the IWC boutique was like, wait, for that price? He's like, don't let that go by.
So Hobby Bobby says, great mustache and great collection.
I'm actually being super lazy, Hobby Bobby. I haven't shaved while I was on leave, and I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm just being a bum. I'm being lazy. I can't. I don't have the. I don't have the genes, but Brian, I don't have the genes. I need
the jeans.
the genes. No, I mean your beard looks great.
It gets going. It gets long.
Yeah.
So listen, we have a couple more minutes here. Listen, man, I really
Yeah.
appreciate you showing the collection. I think it's a phenomenal collection.
Thanks, man.
I wouldn't add anything to it, but maybe one more Rolex puts the icing on the cake. We're gonna get your Batman someday.
Essentially,
Yeah.
That's essentially it. So this is what I was talking
Yep.
about: how the indices kind of sparkle. Can you kind of see it?
Yeah. He dropped out again. We're going to wait really quick. Just in the meantime, guys, in a couple of minutes, JJ will be having a stream. I'm going to drop the link down below for you guys. Please head over just immediately as we get done here. Head over to JJ's channel. He's going to be streaming at 10 p.m. You get dropped off again.
Yeah, there's a back button on my mouse that I kept pressing. and it's taken me back in the browser.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so if you could see in that picture, here, sorry.
That's okay.
Stop sharing it. My fault.
So Omar says, Quickerdraw, the man, the myth, the mustache.
Yeah, so if you can kind of see in that photo, I'll try and blow it up, but I don't know. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you see how it kind of sparkles?
Yeah.
During some of the episodes of Top Gear, I saw it. I was like, is it black? Is it this? Is it that? And I remember owning a Nixon. I'm sure you've owned a Nixon watch before. Yep. I owned a white dial Nixon that was sort of, kind of. I mean, it wasn't really. It was just kind of a proxy that I used at the time. Oh, and there you see my wife.
Yep.
That was her getting her first allocation at the store.
So awesome.
So that was, it was such a great day. The video that I put up, she was just so excited, and you could see it. You could see it in her, in her face during the whole process, and she was just like super excited. This is like a 45-second video. You could look at it real quick, and you could see her getting
nothing in the cases.
Absolutely nothing. I had to get video of that. Absolutely nothing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she's super giddy.
Oh, look at the smile.
Of course, I was wearing my Explorer.
That's great.
Yeah, she's like so pretty. It's great, man.
Yeah,
it's an awesome
feeling.
It's an awesome piece.
That feeling. I hope I have that. I get that feeling one day, and I get.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen sooner than you think. I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for letting me share it.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. So, hey, man, again, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your collection, letting my viewers know a little bit more about you. Obviously, a lot of the panel guests migrate on these channels, but I wanted to feature you and do a spotlight. I think, as we've kind of had a connection offline, and I wanted to get to know more about you and more about your collection. It's definitely eclectic, and it's unique, and I think it's a great mix of a lot of things that are going on there. So thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate that.
I appreciate you having me, man. I really do.
And so guys, we're going to get ready to head out. JJ is going to be streaming. I'm going to drop the link again if you missed it. And please head over immediately when we get off and support JJ's channel. And we're probably going to head over and obviously support him. And just real quick, if you guys haven't already, on the scroll below, you can go over to my Instagram account. You can follow me there, beyond_time_YouTube. If you'd like to send me an email, my email address is on the bottom. I do answer emails and have conversations all the time. And this is great, man. This is really fun. I look forward to doing more of these. And I think that's going to end the stream this evening. We will see you guys next time. Oh, by the way, before I go, pinned to the chat at the top of the chat is the link if you guys want to enter for my 750 subscriber giveaway. Go over, watch the video complete, and follow all the directions in that video. I really would appreciate it, guys. So we are going to head out. Before we head out, we're going to just show what's on the wrist. I got the Speedy on with a crown and buckle thunder strap on. Say that 5 times fast. And it Quicker has the Zenith on. Beautiful, beautiful watch. Thank you so much for showing your collection this evening. We're going to get out here on the mothership, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace. Let's go, Brandon.